What is your name and what year are you here?
My name is Brian Grasso, and I am a senior here at Trinity College.
Have you ever smoked marijuana?
Allegedly, yes.
Do you think there are any negative effects from smoking marijuana?
Oh, absolutely. Should I go into detail?
Yes.
Personally, I think it's conducive to lazy behavior, and yet people do incentivize themselves to smoke weed through the production of their own work. Yet, I do believe that it is a false means for incentivization, and I would hope that people can find reliance on more productive substances.
Do you think marijuana should be legalized? Why or why not?
Oh boy. I think that it should be legalized because it's not a serious enough offense for people to be getting in trouble for. That's pretty much my answer.
Do you think it should be a state decision or it should be a national decision?
I think that it should be a national decision so that there's no confusion among the individual states as to what type of law or legalization they should go with.
What do you think about the criminalization of marijuana?
I believe that according to the current laws, obviously, you should be held responsible for the sale of the drug, yet I don't think that it's a felony to smoke marijuana for personal pleasure.
What is your name and what year are you here?
I'm Bren, and I am a sophomore here.
Have you ever smoked marijuana?
I have.
Do you think there are any negative effects from smoking marijuana?
I don't think there's necessarily any negative effects. I think laziness is one of them, but I don't think that it's necessarily that bad.
Do you think it should be legalized? Why or why not?
I think it should, just because there's a lot of research that's being done with smoking marijuana for cancer patients and how it's pain reduction, also with anxiety and stuff, so I think it should be legal.
Do you think it should continue to be a state decision or do you think it should be a national decision?
I feel like it should be national. I feel like all the states should have one rule regarding it, because I think like it gets tricky when people move and but yeah, no, I think it should be national.
What do you think about current policy concerning marijuana?
I mean, I'm from Mass, and we just passed a law stating that it's legalized in our state if you're over the age of 21.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have many thoughts about it. I mean, I think that it's good, but it doesn't really affect me very much.
What do you think about the criminalization of marijuana?
I don't necessarily feel like it's fair. I mean, I don't think someone should be in prison for getting caught with marijuana. I don't necessarily think that there should be negative consequences to smoking. I feel like it's more of a social thing than, I mean, there's a lot worse out there than someone who's a stoner.
What's your name and what year are you here?
James Russo, and a sophomore.
Have you ever smoked marijuana?
Yes.
Do you think there are any negative effects from smoking marijuana?
Yes.
Could you list some of those negative effects?
Like memory loss, laziness, some others in there, just negative in general, smoking.
Do you think it should be legalized? Why or why not?
Yeah, I think it's profitable. Like, that's one reason it should be legalized, and then I think it's just like a personal decision, just like alcohol should be legalized and marijuana should be.
Do you think it should be a state decision or a national decision?
A state decision.
What do you think about current policy concerning marijuana?
I think it's changing, but it is going in the right direction.
What do you think about the criminalization of marijuana?
I mean, like, it's illegal right now, so I don't really know. I mean, like, I don't think you should be like put in jail for it. Like,
what's your name and what do you do here?
Felicia Grant, Stephen.
Have you ever smoked marijuana?
No.
Do you think there are any negative effects from smoking marijuana?
No.
Do you think marijuana should be legalized? Why or why not?
Yeah, because it's a medical issue. It's good for cancer, sickle cell, and it's good for your blood. Like at home in Jamaica, we do marijuana for tea. We'll like detox your body and also like your blood, it good for the blood too. We cleanse the blood.
Do you think it should be a state or a national decision?
Depends on what the law said. If a minor, no. For adult over 18, I don't think there's no problem with it.
And what do you think about current policy concerning marijuana?
Some like it's different. Every state is different. Like Colorado is illegal. And taxes is very good because they get like $4.4 million and go towards revenue for homeless kids or food stuff, everything like that. If they use the money for good, there's nothing wrong with it. If it's a bad thing, now it doesn't make sense to legalize marijuana.
Right. And what do you think about the criminalization of marijuana?
Minority get more charged for marijuana. Other people don't. If you get like a pound of weed or something like that, it tends to sell. They get arrested for that. But if like a 1 bag, 2 bag, I don't think you're supposed to get arrested for that.
My name is Matt Fleischman. I'm a sophomore.
Do you play on a sports team?
Yeah, the lacrosse team.
And do you have any alcohol or drug policies within your team?
Yeah, we have a 48-hour rule for drinking before games.
And what about anything regarding marijuana? Are you guys allowed to smoke?
There's no specific rule, but I'd say it's definitely not encouraged.
And what about with the NCAAs?
Yeah, you can get drug tested if you make it to the NCAAs.
Have you ever smoked marijuana?
Yes, I have.
Do you think there are any negative effects from smoking marijuana?
Yeah, there definitely are some.
Do you mind listing a few that you think?
Mostly just unproductivity.
Do you think it should be legalized? Why or why not?
Yeah, I think it should be legalized just because I don't think it's like, we're wasting a lot of taxpayers' money, like trying to stop people from smoking weed when we should be focusing on more important things.
Do you think it should be a state decision or a national decision?
That's a tough one. I personally think nationally it should just be legalized, but that probably won't happen. It'll probably just be state by state.
What do you think about current policy concerning marijuana?
I think that in a lot of states where it's legalized, you see some of the positives, especially like businesses growing from that industry and whatnot, but yeah.
And what do you think about the criminalization of marijuana?
I think that it's a waste of time putting people in jail for weed, smoking or selling. Well, people shouldn't be selling weed, but that's just because it should be legal.
I'm Kai Lily Cartman, and I'm a freshman.
Do you play on a sports team?
I play ice hockey.
And do you have any team policies about drug use?
Yes, we do. We're not supposed to do any drugs during season, and we're not supposed to drink 24 hours before practice or 48 before a game.
Have you ever smoked marijuana?
Yes? Wait, okay. Yes.
Do you think there are any negative effects from smoking marijuana?
Not as bad as alcohol.
And do you think marijuana should be legalized? Why or why not?
I do, because I don't think it's any worse than alcohol. Kids die all the time and get transported from school from drinking too much alcohol. That doesn't happen with marijuana. There's no hangover, and I think it's over-stigmatized.
Do you think it should continue to be a state decision or it should be a national decision?
So I don't know. I guess national, because it's kind of tough then state to state to get an economy going for it.
And what do you think about current policy concerning marijuana?
In what states? Like just
Do you
anywhere?
agree with it? Do you disagree with it?
California and Mass just legalized it, which I think is good because they can bank off the tax revenue. I think it should be legal nationally so it can be more regulated and produce more national income.
And what do you think about criminalization of marijuana?
I think it's outdated. Like it's like the prohibition. Like it's just inevitable and it's outdated and based off of like loose science.
My name is Trisha Tiamzon, and I am an instructor in sociology.
Have you ever smoked marijuana?
Yes.
Do you think there are any negative effects from smoking marijuana?
I think there can be. Yeah.
Do you mind listing? Yeah.
Laziness. I think it depends on the age that people are engaging in smoking for the first time, and how often, because I think it does affect brain development for younger people, and so there's a variety of potential negative effects, but on the whole, probably not much different from say alcohol.
And do you think it should be legalized? Why or why not?
Legalized like for recreational use or legalized for medical use?
Both.
For medical use, definitely. For recreational use, definitely decriminalized. There's I guess I think it should be legalized for recreational use, but there's a lot of things to think about in the process of legalization.
Do you think it should continue to be a state decision or it should be a national decision?
That's a good question. National.
And what do you think about current policy concerning marijuana?
Current federal policy?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it should be classified as is it a class 1 drug?
Yeah.
I don't think it should be.
Mm-hmm.
It should be legal.
And what do you think about the criminalization of marijuana?
I don't think that it has been effective. The war on drugs is something that has not been effective. So I don't know. Now I'm losing my train. There's a lot of things I'm thinking about now. I wish I had like a nice sum up of no, I don't think that marijuana should be criminalized.
Officer Corey, campus safety.
Have you ever smoked marijuana?
No.
Do you think there are any negative effects from smoking marijuana?
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Do you think marijuana should be legalized? Why or why not?
Well, I know for medicinal purposes that, in my opinion, that it should be legalized. I know that being legalized, it opens up another door of being taken advantage of, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Do you think it should continue to be a state decision?
No, I think that's, in a way, it should be a state decision, but the people should have the last word, basically.
So you don't think it should be a national decision?
Not a national decision.
What do you think about current policy concerning marijuana?
Current policy? I believe that the current policy has some flaws in it, basically. But it's going to take some time to remedy that entire situation. It's not going to happen overnight. So.
Yeah. What do you think about the criminalization of marijuana?
The criminalization of marijuana. Well, if you're a criminal or if you have a history, I think that we have to look into that. That's why it's so imperative to really talk about it in order to actually get to make a sound decision about it, because it's just too many incidentals here that you have to think.
What is your name?
My name's Emil Banfield Jr.,
How old are you?
20 years old.
What year are you here?
Class of 2020, freshman.
Have you ever smoked marijuana?
I have, yes.
The current policy concerning marijuana?
I don't think it's the right policy. Again, some states it's banned, some states it's legal. Nationwide, as a federal law, I think it should be legal. I think you should be able to possess it, smoke it, potentially deal it.
What do you think about criminalization of marijuana?
It's up there. It's probably think it's the number one, I think, drug offense for African Americans, which sucks. Having a little bit on you, you can go to jail and spend up to like 6 months. I think it's just crazy. And again, it's the fact that it is legal, and the fact that it is illegal, and the fact that you can spend up to like 6 months, maybe 8 or more, in jail just for possessing a tiny bit of it is pretty screwed.